Okay, for our interview, we're interviewing Steve Sells, who is also my dad, and he's the owner-operator of McDonald's in Southeast Missouri. So, Dad, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Well, thank you for having me during this conversation. My name's Steve Sells. I am Allison's dad, and I've been with McDonald's for about 33 years. Started out when I was a teenager because my dad used to be an owner-operator, and worked my way all the way up and became an owner-operator myself. And I've been an owner for about 18 years now, and that's pretty much about me. I've got just been with McDonald's for about 33 years.
Okay, awesome. So just to kind of start off, just can you kind of go over some different ways that McDonald's has partnered with schools directly?
Sure, I'll give you a couple good examples. One thing we do is called a Make Teachers Work Night, where teachers will come in and work for a couple hours, and a lot of their students and the students' parents will come in and visit their teachers while they're working at McDonald's, and then we give them a percent of sales to go back to their school, or if they're going to use it for a donation to a charity, then that's what they use it for. Some other things we've done is maybe like a coupon book. They've needed some money for sports or library books or something, and we've helped them come up with a coupon book, and the kids would sell them, and then they would keep all the profits, and it would benefit them, and it also would bring some customers into McDonald's. So it was good for both of us. They made money, and we were able to serve some more customers and help pay for that grant or donation from the coupon book. So that was two good examples. We've done lots of things. Another thing we've done is Ronald McDonald House Charities grants, where the library would need some books or the playground would need some new equipment, so we would apply for a grant, and based on all of their prerequisites, they had enough to get it, and so we were able to get the schools a grant in that way too. So there's three good examples.
Okay, so besides just food, you guys help with charities and grants and that kind of thing, help to get that available for schools, basically?
Yes. Yes, we can give out food coupons or donate food. Mm-hmm. There's other things we do by getting them grants, or by providing some partnering and work nights or coupon books to help them raise some money. So
awesome.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So how often do these things occur? I know you mentioned like a McTeachers Night. Does that happen quarterly or annually? How do you kind of keep track of how often you do these promotions?
Sure, a lot of things are annually, like the McTeachers Work Night. We do those annually, and we've got about I think 4 different schools in Poplar Bluff that do those. Some other things, or just whenever the need becomes a need, they need to raise money for library books or playground equipment, then we will get in touch with each other, and then we'll do those as needed. We haven't done any coupon books for a couple of years, but we've done some other things like the teachers' work nights, and we've done some grants. Those are usually every year for different schools. So yes, I think that answers your question.
Yes, I was just wondering how often you guys were able to do that. That's great. So I know you kind of mentioned as far as there's lots of ways that you can help the school, but how does the school give back in return? I know you mentioned it sometimes can bring in customers. Are there any other specific ways that the school helps your business?
Well, just from really a loyalty program. So a lot of things we do is just for good public relations. So when you do things to help your community and you give back to your community, you're building public relations and therefore building loyalty within your community. So that's the main thing it helps. We're not looking for the school to give McDonald's any money or anything like that.
Right.
We're just partnering with them to, number one, help them, but also it helps build good public relations, and loyalty is what we get back.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so kind of switch gears a little bit. It's kind of the logistics on how these partnerships all come about. Do you mainly partner with individual schools or an entire district? Do you approach them? Do they approach you? Like, what are the logistics to how these things come about?
The answer to that question is both. Sometimes we get approached, or sometimes we approach them, and it's basically just on a needs basis. So some things are annually, and some things are with just one school. Just whatever the need is mainly how it works. I know the state or the schools are funded by, federal dollars and state dollars, and then local tax dollars, and sometimes the federal and state may fall short, so they're looking for ways to, I would imagine, finish being able to pay for everything they had budgeted for that year. So as the need arises is when I think they come to us more, and other businesses as well, just to try and help. Because ultimately in every community it's a school district, the parents, and the business. I mean, we're all partners together.
Right. Which is essentially what our whole class is about: the school, the home, and the community working together for the ultimate success of the student. So
that's exactly right. If you're going to have a good school system and a good community, all those things have to work, and good business, they all have to work together.
Right. Okay, great. So kind of in a larger community with multiple schools, do you somehow have to say yes to some things and no to others? How does that kind of work? Because I know we have multiple elementary schools in our town. Is it hard to spread the wealth, or?
Well, we try and help everybody we can. I don't like to say no to anybody.
Right.
But from a budgeting standpoint, in my own business, sometimes you may have to put people in a rotation where if you have, let's say, 12 elementary schools in one community, maybe you do 3 every year or 6 every year, and then rotate, and that way it gets spread across the district evenly. But we don't like to say no, and that very seldom do we have to say no. But sometimes we just have to put them in rotation, I guess. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Yes, that's perfect. So just kind of to echo that a little bit, being your daughter, I know that you have restaurants in 4 different towns in this part of our state. Are your restaurants involved more in certain towns than others just because of where we reside, or public relations, or does that even matter?
Well, since we live in Poplar Bluff, I'm able to be more involved and I guess know more people involved with our school district. So I guess the answer would be yes, in the hometown that I live in may get a little more attention, but I actually like to take the same programs that I do in my own town that I live in and do those in the same towns that I own other restaurants in.
Right.
So, because when you find something that's working, you sure don't want to try and reinvent the wheel. You just want to use that same vehicle and make it successful in another town. And as I've gotten more restaurants, it's about time for me to hire a local store marketing person. So when that happens, it will be the same in every town.
Okay, that's kind of what I was wondering. So you take what works best in the town you're most familiar with and spread it out. Because some of the smaller towns might not understand or know about these partnerships, but you kind of bring that to the table to them, basically.
That's right.
That's awesome.
That's exactly right.
Okay, cool. So now we're just kind of curious, are there any restrictions that McDonald's Corporation has on you working with schools, or does the school have any in working with you specifically? Or is it kind of up to you?
I don't know what kind of federal or state laws the school system would have to exactly follow, or what also the school board may have some policies in place that may, as of my last 18 years as an owner-operator, I've not had any trouble with, naturally I cannot set up a McDonald's restaurant inside of a school building, and I'm not sure that I would really want to.
Right.
That's why you have food service and those people to take care of that. But there's not been any problems from the school side or McDonald's side as far as restrictions. It has kept us from really doing things and partnering together. Okay,
that's good, because I think it's a great partnership, so that helps.
We do as well.
Yeah. So I know you said there's no major issues, but are there any obstacles or difficulties in working with the schools and the things that you already have in place with the McTeacher's Night and the grants? Is there any obstacles in dealing with that?
No, there's been no big obstacles, just like with anything, whether it be a church or school or community organization or even a business. There's obstacles in life and in everything you do. You just have to adapt and overcome and just get through those things. But we've not had any big obstacles to work through.
Okay, good.
No.
So kind of just to wrap it up, in your opinion, what do you think is the greatest impact that comes from the partnership between your restaurants of McDonald's and the schools?
Well, I guess it goes back to what I said earlier. I mean, it takes not only parents working with the school, partnering with the school to help learn their children, it also takes the schools and the business community and the parents just to all work together. That's the biggest benefit, and I think the benefit is you get a well-rounded school district, and then you get a great, I guess kids get a great education, and then they graduate. I mean, that's, to me, that would be the pendulum, is learning kids for 12 years and watching them graduate and go off to, college or vocation or something like that. So it's, and I guess one thing we could get from that is if somebody didn't want to continue education, they might want to come work at McDonald's and learn a career. All I've got is 12 years of education. I didn't go off to college. I just went to work, and thank goodness, not just because my dad was the owner, but the local town that I went to school in had some good businesses. I also worked at Chevrolet for a little while, and also a heating and air conditioning place. So there was other places, and all those people partner together with the school. So it also, if kids aren't going to go off to college, it gives them a place to maybe go into vocation and learn a trade with those businesses, and make a living that way.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's got several benefits. Mainly, you just get a good, strong. And I think school systems are the infrastructure of any community. You have to have a good school system in order to produce, some good citizens, I guess.
Right. I agree.
So
that's great. Thank you. So, in conclusion, do you have any advice for teachers who are seeking to involve their classroom more within the community?
Well, I can tell you from a McDonald's standpoint, don't be afraid to go to another or a McDonald's in your area and talk with the restaurant manager or local store marketing person if they have one, or the owner operator, and just ask them, I've got this need, or I've got this idea, and here it is, and just put it in front of them and see what they think. I bet most people would be receptive and would love to partner with the school. A lot of people like myself, business people, they get tied up with just running their business every day, and they don't, number one, maybe have the time, or some of them may just don't know how to approach the school system or a teacher. So I suggest you be bold and approach not only McDonald's but any business in your community, and ask them. We have people in our community, banks, doctors, besides restaurants, you got factories and realty companies. There's several people that will partner with schools just to help out. So that's probably too long of an answer in what you needed.
I think that's great. I think we do need to be bold because, like you said, a lot of times owner-operators are just too busy or just kind of forget or just get so wrapped up in everyday life that it would almost be better if we as teachers approach them. So
in Poplar Bluff, many people know me, so a lot of people will just pick up the phone and call me and ask me to partner with them on a basketball event or a library event or whatever. But anyway, just talk to your business, talk to your local McDonald's or your other businesses, and just ask them. Never hurts to ask.
Yep, I think that's good advice. Well, thank you very much, and we appreciate you talking with us, and you had some good advice that I'm sure we'll all be able to use. So.
Well, great. Thank you for having me. It was a great conversation. And I wish everybody well and good luck in your future.